Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are back here in my shop. Going to do some more installations. So a couple things that we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and try to install the steering wheel that we got wrapped. So we got new leather, some new suede on it, Raptor steering wheel with the paddle shifters. We also have the harness extension to pin out to make the paddles work, new bolt for the steering wheel, and then we will also have some new wheels that we're going to be putting on the truck that I'm putting on there for power tour. That way I can drive in the rain just in case I get caught in the rain up there as well, instead of using the Mickey Thompson SS's that I have on the Bogarts. So we're going to try to get that stuff. We're definitely going to get that done today. Steering wheel, and then so we'll do that, and then just kind of let y'all know what's going on with me, just what's been happening. As y'all probably have noticed, some of the videos have been a little different, so I've been dealing with some stuff. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've lost about 30 pounds unintentionally. So just going through some stuff, trying to get all this stuff figured out. So with that being said, we'll just go ahead and get to the video. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that we have got the new shirt designs for our logo. So we have a new shirt with the F-150 on it, with a Texas flag and a Texas border background. I'll probably pop up the image of the design somewhere along here so y'all can kind of see. So as soon as these orders come in, we will create the merch store. That way y'all can order some shirts, which would kind of help out the channel so we can keep on doing this. So let me know on the comment below what y'all think of the shirt design. If you think some things should be changed, added, some things you might want to see in the future on them, let me know. Comment down below. New to the shirt design thing, so I don't know. So I thought these kind of look cool, so this is what we're rolling with right now. But let me know what y'all think, and we'll get the link up for the shop here shortly once we get these shirts in. All right guys, so this is how the truck is currently sitting. So right now I daily drive on a set of 20-inch Bogarts with Mickey Thompson Street SS's. And we are going to be changing out for our daily set a set of 22-inch billet specialties. So I had these made previously. I probably called them a couple months ago. Had them made for the for the wheelwood brakes actually. So the front wheels do have an extra pad height clearance. So if I decide to run a 6-piston caliper sometime on down the road, these will clear. So those will be nice for that. But we went ahead and went with the brushed barrel and then the black center. So I think that looks pretty dope. And then we are running a set of the Toyo Proxes ST IIIs. So it's a nice all-weather compound for the road. Hopefully be nice and smooth going up to Indiana for power tour. So this is what we're going to throw on here. So I'm not going to go ahead and bore y'all with watching me change out tires, since y'all have seen me do this a couple of times, and I'm sure y'all have done it. So you can get these tires thrown on here, and we'll do a cut scene to the finished product. All right guys, so I wanted to just kind of give you a rundown and a visual on what everything looks like with the headers installed. So we've got the coarse exhaust, which honestly I'm gonna have to get rid of. That thing is way too loud for headers, even with cats on there. So as you can see, I've got green cats on here, and it is still super loud. Now when you're cruising, it's not bad, it's fine, but you give it any sort of throttle, even the slightest, and it's super loud. So I'm too old to be dealing with that. I need some quiet, so that's gonna have to go. So, but definitely tell a difference, torque converter and long tubes and pulley, like that entire setup. I mean, honestly, this thing screams now. But as you can see, I don't have any defowlers in there yet. So, and you got plenty of clearance, so I can still put them on there. And then the second one is in front, right underneath the trans. So easy spot to put one if I need to put a defouler in there for any kind of reason. Got plenty of clearance. After I clearance that, y'all should be taking out the heat shield. I would recommend that. But again, we reuse the studs and the gaskets. No issues so far. We got plenty of clearance around this one as well. There we go. Nothing hits, nothing rattles. It's all close, but it does clear. And then inner chiller kit as well. I redone a couple of things on this, put some extra insulation on there, so we'll see how that works out. But that is what this looks like. And then, and then I do have, as you can see the pigtail there, let's see. I'll have to put down the lift. So another thing that we did was the booster pump. And we just set it up here. No issue so far. You're not supposed to have that out. Honestly, you're supposed to put that inside. I don't have any problems with it so far up here. Maybe I'll relocate it when I've got some more time, but that's where it's gonna sit. We bent this heat shield up a little more because it did curve before, so that way it blocked anything else that was gonna go up there. I mean, I don't plan on being in any kind of water with this truck. That's gonna be that bad. So we got the booster pump, and then I'll show you the engine bay. All right guys, so under the hood, this is basically what my setup looks like as of right now. So as you saw in the previous video, or maybe not, depending on when this comes out, I guess, we installed a 350 pulley, thanks to Pickle for that. Jay installed it for me while we were doing the headers. And again, shout out to Jay and Brian over at JFab Performance in Frisco for helping me out during this time. And then we have our lines here, go to the supercharger that are now wrapped in foam and cork tape. And then we've got all these lines wrapped up here as well because of the inner chiller setup goes around there. So that's basically all that's changed. Belt size did change as well, which will be in the header video. The part number for this, if you decide to go with the 350 pulley. So when Pickle came over, he did tell us that since the new tune with Whipple dropped, the 350 with the stage 2 is fine to run on 93 octane. So that's what he was telling us while we were there. So I did add a booster pump just in case. I'm also using Boostane as well, just in case, just to play it safe. So since this truck doesn't get driven a whole lot, it's not my primary driver, it's not that big of a deal to me. But I will be bringing a whole case of Boostane. You can see over in that Milwaukee pack out set over there with me on power tour, so I'm not gonna leave home without it. So just in case, I don't want anything happening and while I'm on the road filling up. So while we are down here, we can go ahead and start with the install. So we want to go ahead, remove the negative battery terminal. Once we remove this, we're gonna wait 10 minutes to let the system discharge, since we are messing with the airbags. We don't want that popping out, so just disconnect that. We'll wait 10 minutes and then we'll get to the steering wheel installation. While we wait for the system to discharge for the airbags, this is what the new look looks like now, or the new wheels. So I think it looks pretty cool. So that's how we're gonna be rolling up to Indiana for power tour. So we're gonna be rocking these 22-inch billet specialties on power tour. I also want to give a big shout out to Billet Specialties, and especially Jason. They helped me out big time. I got 3 of these delivered. I emailed them on a Friday night, and Jason emailed me back that night, called FedEx trying to figure out where it was, located it, put in a request to get it escalated, got everything moving on that. and then he was able to get it, and I got it actually Sunday. So honestly, so far, not gonna lie, the best customer service that I've had so far with dealing with one of these companies. So if y'all are looking for wheels, I'm going to go ahead and recommend Billet Specialties, and especially because of their customer service. So again, big shout out to Jason with Billet Specialties for helping me out on that, getting these ordered. He even helped me pick out the brushed look on the barrels as well. So, and I think that came out pretty dope. So looking good. So this is what we're going to roll on. Again, Billet Specialties, these are 22 by 10s. This is listed on their website, so you can actually just order these, I believe, from them, or you can give them a call. You can talk to Jason. Maybe I'll leave his information down below, so if any of y'all want to contact him and get these ordered, or get something from Billet Specialty ordered, he can help you out. So now let's just go ahead and hang out and wait for this system to discharge, and then we'll get to the steering wheel install. Okay, the first thing that we're going to want to do is access the small trim panel below the steering wheel. So you're going to have the column, another trim panel, and then a smaller trim panel below that. Pull that out. You're going to access 2 bolts. They're going to be 7 millimeters. Remove that. And then we're going to pull that small trim panel completely out. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove the panel above the small trim panel. This is going to be held on by a couple of just retaining clips. So just pull straight out and they will be released, and you can pull that panel straight out. Now that we have the trim panel removed, we have 3 bolts to access from the lower steering column cover. They're all 3 7 millimeters. The one that's further back is blocked by a structural panel that we're going to have to notch to access. So we can remove that bolt and then remove the lower cover to access the wiring harness for the paddle shifter patch harness. All right, guys, so I tried accessing the hole with a 1/4 inch drive, a universal joint, and a deep socket 7 millimeter. And when I tried to pull it out, there wasn't enough clearance to get everything out, so I had to run it back in. So if you can see here, I've marked, I'm going to clearance this with a Dremel so I can access this hole. And that should still leave enough rigidity back here for this to be pretty stable. So I'm not taking that much out of it. So I'm just going to take my Dremel, cut this to access that so we can get this pulled off. All right, let's see if we can access it now. Yeah, that's easier. All right, let's move on to the next step. All right, so the next thing we're going to want to do is get this top cover popped off. And this just pops off, and then we can remove this leather piece that's covering the top of the steering wheel. All right, so once we've got the upper leather piece detached and folded up top here, we just need it moved out of the way. And then also the shifter handle boot is also been, so all we did is we just pressed our pry tool in there and it released these clips, and we're just gonna fold it up here because it is attached down here and we don't want to pull too much and rip, and we don't need to remove it. So all right, once we get those covers done, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the steering wheel turned 90 degrees so we can access this panel right here. So you just stick your pry tool in there so we can access that, and then we are gonna go back the opposite way. So we can access that side, and then we can get this cover popped off. All right, and once we have released the top panel, the bottom panel will just come out. So we got everything unbolted already. So now we're gonna have access to all of the wiring that we need to get to for the patch harness for the paddle shifter. So next thing we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to access the airbag. And so to do that, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to turn the wheel 90 degrees. There is a clip on the back that you can access with a flathead or a pry bar or a pick or something to release those clips. So we're going to do 90 degrees, go back 180 degrees, access the other side so we can remove the airbag itself. All right, so make sure that we turn the steering wheel. You're going to turn it first 90 degrees clockwise. So we're going to turn it this way to access the rear of the steering wheel. Hopefully I can make this work because there's no room behind there. There we go. So as you can see, so you just kind of push the clip down and now this is loose. So now we're going to spin it 180 degrees the opposite way so we can access the other side. There we go. And that just pulls right out. So as you can see, we got the airbag module here. We're going to disconnect the wiring harnesses and pull this out and put it somewhere where it doesn't explode in my face. So let me do that real quick and I'll be back. Actually, let me go ahead and show how these are removed. So this red clip on here, see that, is just a lock. So you're going to press up on it. Trying to do this with one hand. And then it will disengage. There we go. So now we've got that. We've got this. And then we're going to have one more wiring harness here that we're going to have to pull out. Just, well, not disengage it from the thing, but pull it off from here. Okay, so we've got the airbag module out. So on this, you'll just need to stick, I just got a pick and put it underneath this tab and then pulled that tab and it released. So that's how this is going to release. So now that we've got this out, we can put this to the side and get the steering wheel removed. All right, guys, so next thing we want to do is, the very first thing we want to do is after we straighten out the steering wheel is to make sure that this notch is at the 12 o'clock position. So we need that up. So next is going to be removing this wiring harness here, which should just be a clip, I believe. Yep. So just clip, pull that out. And then this is going to be a T50. So let's get this removed and then we can get the steering wheel pulled off. All right, guys, so we got that removed. So honestly, all it took was one pull from the impact and it just came straight out. So now that we've got this out, we can go ahead and pull the steering wheel out. We also are not going to reuse this bolt. We got a new one with the steering wheel, so we're going to use that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to want to do once we have everything unplugged and the bolt out, which didn't take that much from the impact, honestly, is pull out carefully the wiring harness. You do not want your clock spring to move, so hold it. And I had some tape, of course. All right, so you don't want that to move. So we need to get our tape, which I had just a second ago, and tape that up. Okay, now that we've got that taped up, we're going to go ahead and get our patch harness installed, and then we will get the steering wheel installed. Alright guys, so once we got the steering wheel off, the clock spring taped up so it doesn't move, there is a wiring harness in the column here that we're going to put this patch harness. So again, this is if you're going to do the paddles itself. You don't have to do this. So this is just going to plug up in there. All right. Then we have to repin these 3 wires. And this is going to go, so you have a wiring harness that goes, that's gray, that's going to go into the side of the clock spring. We're going to take this out, and we've got to insert these pins back inside here. So it's very hard to see, but so you got the tab up top. Top left is 1. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these 3 open slots, 5, 6, and 7 are what we're going to need to use. So we've got to insert these into there. And so it tells us white to 5, green to 6, and red to 7. So you need to get these repinned, and then we can get this plugged back in. When you're doing this, do this carefully. I think that should be it. Alright, let's see if I can stick a pin in there now. So as you can see, I've lifted the red locking mechanism for the front out. Looks like that's as far as it will go. So let's see if we can slide one of these pins in now. If not, I'll have to figure something else out. There we go. So white into 5, and then green into 6. Make sure all these are in the right direction as well. So these pinches on the electrical, make them face up. Actually, I don't know if it actually matters. I just like to put them in this right spot. All right, so as you see, that went back down. Everything's locked in. We can put this back into the clock spring. And we have a patch harness for shifters. All right, let's go over to the steering wheel. We've got to move over the controls from the old steering wheel into the Raptor steering wheel. All right, so we've got our stock steering wheel and our Raptor steering wheel. So we've got 2 T20s to remove, so we can take this out and move it over. Okay, once we get that loose, we just need to undo the connectors. And we can move this over. Now this is a lot tighter with all this new fabric on here, so if you got your steering wheel wrapped, it is going to be tighter. So just know that, but everything will go on. Get the screws back in there, and we'll just start going back and putting stuff in. There we go, new steering wheel. Now we just need to reverse everything we just did. So let's get on that. All right, so we got the bolt back into the steering wheel. Honestly, I just took my impact and just ran it in. It took a couple ugga-duggas, and that's where it's at. The torque spec, though, for this, if you want to try, is 46 foot-pounds, but pretty sure I overhit that with the impact. So it's on, ain't going nowhere. I'm not afraid that it's gonna fall out. So we just need to start getting everything plugged back in, and then put back on, and we'll take it out for a test drive. All right, guys, so we are going to take this out for a drive. So this is legitimately the first start. And if everything does not go according to plan, I will redo this and make it look like it goes according to plan. So let's see what happens. And that's super loud. I'm holding the camera, so this might be a little difficult, I don't know. Alright, we're moving and nothing bad is happening yet. This is not that easy with one hand. Alright, let's go into manual mode. It shifts. A little bit of lag, but it does shift. So there we go. It does work. Go back to manual or auto mode. So there we go. It does work. Wiring harness works. Steering is fine. So far, so good. So we're going to take this out for a little test drive for the new wheels and tires, see how those do, and we'll come back and see how things went. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for our steering wheel installation and our wheel and tire installation, and just kind of a recap of what's been going on. So I will tell you, driving this thing with this new set of wheels and tires, this thing rides so much better. The ride quality with these 22-inch billet specialties and the Toyos is a lot plusher. It's a lot softer and a lot less jarring. So I don't know if any of y'all are having problems with suspension issues, but it could be your wheels and tires. It could be the sidewall size. So take that in consideration as well. So, but these things ride fantastic. It turns great, it rides great, it's smooth. Paddle shifters work. I think when I was shifting, it was shifting a tad bit late, and I don't know if that's because I didn't redo the Whipple for the tire size, so I just did that just now. So if you have one or have a Whipple, make sure if you change out tires to recalibrate your Whipple, so that way it's the correct for the speedometer. And besides that, that's gonna do it for this episode. Hopefully I'm gonna have this out probably before I go to Power Tour, so hopefully I'll have it out that Saturday before Power Tour. The header video should come out that Sunday still. So the Power Tour will be, I believe, in Saturday. We'll be gone for the full week. I'm going to do the full run. So if there's anybody up in, I think, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, those are the 3 stops that we're going to be doing. So I'll be up in that area for all of next week. So I think Monroe is 1 stop. Norfolk might be 1 stop. There's 3 others in there. I can't remember what the stops are. So I'll be on that. So if anyone wants to stop by and say hi, that's in that area, I'll be up there. Glad to talk to y'all and say what's up, go over the truck, any kind of questions y'all have, we can do that as well. So again, that'll do it for today's episode. If you're going to be up in that area, come by and say hi. If you're going to be on or near Power Tour up in that area, be glad to talk to you and answer any questions that you might have on any truck issues, your truck, my truck, any of that kind of stuff. So that'll do it. Again, that'll do it for this episode. So please go ahead and subscribe, hit that like and notification bell, and share this out to everyone you know. And we'll check you later.